Hi guys, so you guys are taking self notes today. You did the lab last time where you kind of figured it out on your own, but today we're going to be giving you all the formulas. These notes you'll need to get checked by the sub to show that you actually worked through the video and you actually took notes. What you take today we will let you use on the test, even though it is a test, just so you guys have some accountability for today's work. So your objective today is to find the surface area of rectangular prisms and triangular prisms, and then you're going to find the surface area of pyramids. So working through this is the actual formula. So your rectangular prism, it's 2 length times height plus 2 length times width plus 2 height times width. Because you have 6 sides, that would add up to all 6 sides. So if you're looking at this first shape for the rectangular prism shown at the right, you have a 9 by 7 by 13 figure. So if you plug in this formula, 2 length times height plus 2 length times width plus 2 height times width, you will just plug in those numbers. So your length is 9, your height is 7, your length is 9, your width is 13, your height is 7, your width is 13, and then it's just calculator work from there. So you would add those together and you'd get 542 square inches. Since it is talking about area, you need to make sure that your label is inches squared or square inches or units squared, whatever that label you might be working with. So for these two, these should be pretty straightforward. So the same thing, if you do put it into that formula, you're going to get 2 times 10 times 3, 2 times 10 times 6, and 2 times 6 times 3. If you add all those together, 60 plus 120 plus 36, you'll get 216 square centimeters, or meters. If you do this one, since it is a square, it is a cube, you know that there's 6 sides and they're all the same, so you can just do 6 times 11 times 11, and you'll get 726 millimeters squared. Sometimes it makes it easier since you are trying to find the area of each of those surfaces. So Domingo built a toy box 60 inches long, 24 inches wide, and 36 inches high. He has 1 quart of paint that covers about 87 square feet of surface. Does he have enough paint for the toy box, and justify your answer? So the first thing you need to do is you need to find the surface area of the toy box. So if I'm doing that, those are the dimensions you would use, and that is the answer you would get. So his toy box is 8,928 inches squared. So from there, what you need to do is he has 1 quart of paint, but that covers 87 square feet. That's not talking about inches. So you need to convert your feet into inches. So you need to take 87 times 144, and you get 12,528 square inches. So since 12,528 is bigger than 8,928, Domingo does have enough paint to paint his toy box. So you guys need to pause the video and do this one, and then when you come back, we'll give you the answer. So when you were working through this, you should have gotten that the surface area is 926 feet squared, and then you should have found that 950 square feet of paper is larger than 926 square feet, so he does have enough. If you're having questions at any time, you need to make sure that you're writing them down so we can clarify them before you take your test on Thursday. So switching gears a little bit, looking at the surface area of a triangular prism, there's not a definite formula for it, simply because there's so many different sides and they could always be different. So if I'm looking at this shape right here, they break it down into the 2 triangles and then the 3 rectangles. And then it just shows you that they took the 3 times 4 and the 3 times 4, divided those both by 2, and they added those together. And then if you notice that these rectangles end up being a little bit different. So you have 2 3.6 by 14, and then you have a 4 by 14. So you need to make sure that you're matching up your rectangles. So the 3.6 by 14 is these 2 side rectangles. The 4 by 14 is this bottom rectangle. So it is a little bit different. So this first one, it says Marty is mailing his Xantha package shown how much cardboard is used to create the shipping container. So if you need to do this, you're going to want to split it into your 2 rectangles again, or your triangles. And then you're going to have 4 times 3 divided by 2, which is 6. But you have 2 of those, so that's just one of those triangles, so you're going to have to account for that. And then the area of the 2 rectangles, so this 3.6 by 14, that's 2 of them, and then you have to go back and you have to do the bottom one. So 6 plus 6 plus 50.4 plus 50.4, that is going to, plus 56. So I forgot the 14 by 4. So your last triangle should be 14 times 4, which gives you 56. So you actually need to add a 56 into that answer, and that would give you the 168.8. So I'm actually 56 short of that, but the 14 by 4 wasn't added in. Looking at this surface area, you guys should pause the video and try this one on your own and then come back to get the answer. So when you're looking at this one, when you're trying to find the surface area of it, you should have gotten 38 square centimeters. So if you have any questions on that, you need to make sure you ask questions. But for the rest of these, we won't be giving you the answers because you should be trying them on your own. So you guys need to pause the video and try these two on your own, and then when you're finished trying them, you can come back and you can check your work. So this one, again, we're not going to show you the work because you should know how to do it, but you should get 109 square feet. For number 2, you should have gotten 84 square meters. The next section is 8.7, so it talks about lateral surface area and slant height. So it's talking about the surface area of pyramids. So this is one that you guys kind of struggled with finding out by observation because you weren't sure what lateral area was. So this is the formula for a pyramid. So it's the area of your base plus your lateral area. Your lateral area is half of your perimeter times your slant height. So the slant height is still the top to the bottom of that triangle, but that triangle doesn't have the perfect straight up and down height. So that's why they call it that slant height. So if you're looking for the total surface area of this pyramid and you're rounding to the nearest tenth, if you plug this into your formula, you're going to get 4 times 4, which is your area, plus half your slant height. So this is your area times your slant height, and then you have to divide that by 2. So when you get this, you should get 88 square inches. So looking at this next one, you're finding the total surface area of the pyramid. It's going to give you the base area because it's a triangle. Some of them won't, but it didn't give you where there would be an actual height. So if you plug this into your formula, the base of your area plus your perimeter, which is 16 plus 16 plus 16, times your slant height of 20, and then you divide that by 2, you're going to get 591 square meters. So pause the video and try this one on your own and see how you do. Make sure if you're having any questions, you write it down, and then we can clarify it when we get back. So your triangle base, this one they gave you the height, so you should have done 10 times 8.7 divided by 2, which gave you 43.5. So if you use that, this becomes your the area of your base, plus your perimeter, so 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30, times your slant height, so that's talking about the height of the pyramid, not the height of the triangle, and then you divide that by 2. So you get 223.5 square feet. So a lot of this is calculator work, but when you take your test, you're going to want to make sure you show as much work as you can. That way, if you get it wrong, at least you get half credit. So this one you need to pause the video. There are 2 different sections, and then when you get back, we'll give you the answers. If you're having difficulties with these still, make sure that you're writing down questions so we can clarify them before you take your final test on Wednesday. So pause the video and complete these couple problems. So for A, you should have gotten 105 square centimeters. And then for B, you should have gotten 332.4 square meters. So if you're writing these down, this is great, but if you're not showing your work and you're not understanding how to do them, it's going to be an issue when you get to your test on Wednesday. So make sure you're doing what you need to do in order to take control of your own learning. For the guided practice, you need to pause this video and do these 3. When you get back, we'll tell you the answers, but we're not going to show you the work. So again, I would check with a friend if you're confused. Write down the problem if you have a question, so that way we can clarify it when we get back. So if you look at number 1, you're going to get 119.0 centimeters squared. Number 2, you're going to get 140.4 square millimeters. And number 3, you're going to get 3,829.5 square feet. So now you need to start your Chapter 8 review. With that being said, Wednesday is your final test, and then Friday you'll start your project. Your project will go in as a test grade, and that will be your final grade for extensions for tests. You will have a couple of small assignments that you'll be required to do, but you're almost to the end of your 7th grade extensions year. So hopefully this helps clarify what you did on last Thursday, and then you will take your test on Wednesday and start your project. So have a great Monday, and we will see you on Wednesday.